We who are about to die, salute you!
This is the third and final video of a three-part series dealing with Exanima Arena and beast fights and tournament strategies. This is just going to go over what's at the end of the arena basically, and then some helpful tips on how to get you there. Alright, so I just won another season tournament, and that means I get a full set of new armor. And all the tournament armor looks like this. So there's this black and gold. Then there's going to be kind of this purple and brass color. And then there's going to be this kind of yellow and blackish armor here. And then what I'm going to give my new armor that I just got in the tournament, this is the fourth set, and I haven't seen any other set, so I think this is all four of the Master Season champion armor here. So I'm going to go ahead and take this stuff off of him and give him his new set, which is like this another silver and purple, kind of like dragon armor here. And he's got this crazy goblin head or dragon head here. It's pretty cool. That leaves me with an extra set. So my three main guys that I play as, whether it's a shield and a hammer, dual wielding the spiked maces here, which have this stupid impact. And then, you know, the halberd guy I use for the ogre fights usually. So for champion, you are to use a specific weapon, and if it's one-handed, choose a guy that has the dual wield skill, because then when you defeat your first combatant, you can do the next few fights with dual wielding and they won't have it. During melees and frays, anytime there's like 6 people in the same room fighting, they don't always target you right away. And if they do, if you're the first person to kill somebody or someone drops on the floor and no one's engaged with you, I generally go over and upgrade my equipment, especially at the lower level ones like Novice, Adept, and things like that. So just take a look at the armor and see if it's better than what you got. If you're not pressed for time, it'll even give you a chance to heal some of your yellow back if you're not in direct combat with somebody. during this particular master level conquest, I had some damage from previous fights with this particular combatant, so what I ended up doing is trying to kite the guys so my teammate could do some damage, and at some point you'll see where I get so low, a thing you can do is exit combat and just start running around in circles if you want to try to get your yellow bar back to full, because you'll suffer a lot of chip damage, stamina damage, but generally not a whole lot of red damage in the later fights. It's the earlier fights where you're not wearing any armor that they can do like permanent damage, at least in a duration of a single tournament. But you'll see that sometimes you can use this strategy in various types of fights, where if you just run around and get some hit points back because you just don't want to lose, that's always an option, so keep that in mind. So just like Conquest and some of the other ones, Champion is another one where you'll end up doing like an elimination where you fight a guy, next fight, one at a time, and so you'll have the opportunity to loot their bodies and upgrade your weapons as well. So just don't forget to take a look to see if their armor is better conditioned, better balanced, encumbrance, all that stuff, or if their weapon is longer or you'd like to use it more. All that good stuff, because there is a difference in lengths even in the same weapon category like pole axes and pole hammers. So take a look. And in every situation that you're fighting with your fellow combatants, be wary of friendly fire. And since I did most of the damage to him, he was easy prey for the enemies, which means in this particular fight style of Conquest, he won't be there for the next couple matches, so I'll have to do it alone. I end up losing this one, and it's partly my fault because I did crush my friend in the face with a giant Bardache. Now I've noticed in many of the master level beast fights, he pretty much dispatches my teammates pretty quick. I'm relying on them mainly to just do a bunch of like quick damage super fast, and then you do your best to aggro him by hitting him really hard with a high impact or crush weapon so he targets you, but he flails around so quickly it usually just kills everyone around him. So you're gonna have to get used to just kiting him or hitting him in the face and back up. Get used to his rhythm because he's a lot more quick and longer armed than the expert ogre with that flail. The flail is a little laggy. He telegraphs it so you have time to react and step back, but this guy's spiked mace is always on point, so you just got to get used to tack in, back out, dodge, tack in, back out, dodge. Look how cool this weapon is, though. That'd be awesome. just like the majority of the master level beast fights, both of my teammates usually get beat up pretty fast. So what I'm going to do here is again try to just move in, smack his face, get a critical there. I'm using a pole hammer in this case. I found one that's longer than my extremely well balanced one, and I believe this is an improvement. So I have both my guys outfitted with either halberds or pole hammers, and then I'm going to use a pole hammer so I can at least do some finishing damage. I like the halberd for the reach, but this seems to bring them down a lot quicker. So this is again with the pole hammer. I think it's a little bit easier even though it's a little shorter than the halberd, and this is just another example of when you move in to strike him, if your teammates are fighting him at the exact same time when they hit their weapons, it's kind of like a shit show. He just spins and kills them right away. But this is just a good example of moving in, striking, and moving back. And another useful hint is there is one arena level. It's not this one. It's like the dungeon cell one that's gray. That one, he can't always do his downward attack. His weapon gets stuck on the ceiling. It's not 100% of the time, but it's actually pretty easy to fight him in that one as well. So when it comes to the expert beast, I do think it is a viable tactic to use a shield or a character that has a shield like a main guy. Because you can just crouch and smack his kneecaps, because the expert beast's weapon is so goofy, he just can't smash you down and move you out of the way like the master beast can. And so your teammates can just wail on him while you menace him and tackle his feet and his legs and stuff. It's pretty funny. I don't recommend using a shield on the master level beast. You just have to get too close and he's just too fast. He generally destroys your teammates when he's angry anyways. But this works. It's probably unnecessary on the Adept and Novus because you can just destroy them with Bardaches and stuff because they have no armor. In this game, the master level AI with a two-handed sword forces you to fight very tediously, especially if you have a slow long weapon or a heavy weapon like a halberd or a poleaxe or pole hammer. Just don't get frustrated, and remember, if your character can feint and parry, like just block, feint, and try to get them to commit to an overhand attack or a stab, and then you just back up and hit them in the face. It works every time. This is Master Skirmish, so it's just my 3 best versus 3 random good Master fighters, and we all just have giant weapons, and so it's kind of silly, but it's funny to watch. The reason why I picked Skirmish to talk about in this particular video is because as you gain experience, as you get your characters to higher levels and get them more traits, Skirmish is like the best option because the experience is shared. Just remember, this is a good way to make a little bit of money and also make all your characters gain experience. This is just what I do before a tournament. You know, you got a couple days before a tournament begins. You got to do something. If there's no beasts to fight or anything else, you don't have anyone to gain experience, you can just practice fighting 3 people at once to kind of keep your reflexes up. Using a pole hammer here is just really easy to keep people at bay, and just a couple hits to the face will stop them. Remember, if a weapon doesn't say thrust, it doesn't mean you can't push, and it will still add all the impact damage. One more final tip on like the 1 vs 3s. I generally like the dual wield with heavy impact weapons because you can just wade through people. This is my favorite style of fighting random humans, is either 2 like falchions, 2 axes, warhammers, or these 2 spiked maces. It's the best.